This video is a sample from the Secret Guitar Teacher Interactive course, The 5 Main Elements of Music. The 5 main elements of music. Element number 2, scales. Section 2.4, the major blues scale. Part 4, how to convert blues licks to country licks. Guitar students generally find it easier to improvise using the minor blues scale than they do the major blues scale. And this is why most guitar teachers start you out learning the minor blues scale first and then introduce the major blues scale a bit later on. But the good news is that most of the licks you've developed using the minor blues scale can be converted for use with the major blues scale simply by changing the odd note here and there and perhaps altering the rhythm. To most people's ears, this has the effect of making a blues lick sound more like a country lick. See if you can hear what I mean. I've made a backing loop that plays a bluesy style riff over the chord of A7 for 8 bars, immediately followed by a country style riff over the chord of C for the next 8 bars. So let's start by jamming over the bluesy bit in A using a few tried and tested blues licks from the top end of the first position. Now, watch and listen to how I change things as we morph into the 8 bars of country feel in C major. Now, there are 2 different ways you can approach this task. One ties in with the graphical pathway. You can simply use trial and error and careful listening to the results you get as you play. In this case, there's one piece of advice I probably would pass on, and that is use the same notes at the start of the lick as you would use with a blues lick, but simply experiment with varying how you end the lick, varying the notes at the end of the lick. For example, over the blues section in A, I might play this. Then over the country backing in C, I'd probably play the first 2 notes the same, the bend there at fret 7 on the G string, followed by the E note at fret 5 there on the B string. But instead of going up, let's use one of these other 2 notes and listen to how they sound against the country backing. Sounds better. So my blues lick will be my country lick. So I can simply substitute for this note with that one, Or I could play my blues lick and add that note on. Or maybe both of them. Try various combinations and see what you like. Then maybe I'd try a similar thing in the second position. Find a tried and tested blues lick. And then try that over the country backing. And instead of resolving the lick on this note here, I'm finding that note works better. So I'm keeping the slide and those two notes instead of going like I did in the blues. Just messing around. I want you to notice that I'm also playing with the rhythm of the lick. That was our blues lick, but with this one I'm giving it just a little bit more syncopation. So the rhythmic element is an important aspect of this as well. If it's not quite working right, do experiment with changing the rhythm. So you may find that if you just work away like this over each position, gradually using trial and error and experimentation to make your blues lick sound more and more like country licks, that you'll gradually get the knack of playing in this relative major key. Some students will find this the best approach for them, but I know that others won't find this so easy. And it's important to understand that this difference isn't because you're a better or worse musician or guitarist. It's just that we all differ when it comes to solving this type of problem. You could say our brains are all wired differently. Some students may prefer to take a more analytical approach. And the good news here is that we've already learnt a good framework that can be adapted to such an approach. And that's in the last lesson when we looked at how we superimpose the Cage system octave patterns on the blues scale patterns. You may have noticed that when I played the first blues lick, I terminated it on this note, which is part of the E-shaped octave pattern, which gives us the A notes in this position, the key notes. So I could simply play any number of licks that end on or pivot around those three notes. to sound bluesy. Then to switch to country mode, I simply superimpose the G-shaped octave pattern to give me these 3 C notes in this first position. And I make sure that it's these notes that I terminate my phrases on, or make the main pivot of my licks. Something like this. You could then repeat this approach in the next position using the D shape for blues phrase end or pivot notes and the E shape for the country pivot notes and phrase end notes. So let's have a look at this. So over blues, country, and so on up through each position. In the third position, we can use the C shape for our blues. And the D shape for our country. In the fourth position, we can use our A shape, blues, and our C shape for country. Finally, in the fifth position, we've got our G shape for the blues, and then what we got for our country, A shape. suggest taking 2 steps to working on familiarising yourself with this. First, download the PDF entitled Superimposing the Cage System on the Blues Scale Patterns. This is the PDF from the last lesson. And also download the audio file MP3 Blues to Country in Relative Keys. Both items are available from the main menu or from links below this video. Practice against the audio track, working on each position at a time to switch from blues in the key of A to country in the key of C. If you find it useful, refer to the PDF to help you locate the keynotes in each case. On the PDF, the blue coloured notes are for blues and the red coloured notes are for country. This step may take anything from a few minutes to many hours of practice. However long it takes, do continue with it until you no longer need to refer to the PDF and your ear confirms to you that you're successfully transitioning from blues to country in any of the positions. In step 2, set yourself the goal of moving up 1 position each time the loop restarts. So you'll play 8 bars of blues scale in position 1 and transition to 8 bars of country as the backing track changes. I'll give you a quick demonstration of this. Country, blues in the second position. Country in the second position. Blues in third. Country in the third. Blues in the fourth. Country in the fourth. Country in the Fifth. And so on. Once you're comfortable with this step, then you're well ready to carry out the assignment that follows this lesson. Don't forget to have some fun with it. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you'd really like to maximize your potential as a guitar player, click on the link in the description below to the Secret Guitar Teacher site. Here you can sign up for a 30-day trial free of charge and without obligation. We won't even ask you for your credit card number.